Warning, this podcast is not vegetarian or vegan friendly.
Snorkers, good-o.
Prick with a fork. 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 Prick with a fork.
It is Prick with a Fork, the Sausage Podcast. I'm Duncan Barks, your host, as you can see. If you're watching on YouTube, Rosa is here, Rory McAllister as well. I won't go into too much detail on what we were talking about before we started recording this segment, but Rory has an addiction that will blow your mind. And it's not just sausages. I mean, I'm going to blow this wide open, Rosa, because that's the most interesting thing that I've heard. You said to me, hang on a second, I need to put something on my lips. And I thought, oh my God, he's transitioning. He's going to put some lipstick on. But no, it's not lipstick, is it?
Cha-ching! No, it is Vaseline. And this is the only stuff that cures it. I went to Australia in 2001, so I went from the English winter into their summertime. My partner at the time packed me a survival change kit. There was loads of nice things in there, but to do with the flight as well, earplugs and things. And there was a tub of this, the blue one though. And I used this when we went up Mount Kosciuszko. It's the highest peak in Australia. Yeah. And sure enough, I thought, oh yeah, that's very soothing. And since then, 25 years later, I still use it every single day, and I have them in my pocket. They're in my glove box. They're in my bedroom, everywhere. Lizzie's handbag, the lot. And I've seen a specialist, even on the BBC. I got the specialist on to interview her for up to an hour. We did strange addictions,
Nice.
mine being this. And like that, and I've read now 3 books on addictions. The last one was the most useful one. Obviously, most of it talks about sort of alcohol, drugs, gambling, that kind of thing. But it does have just a couple of pages on things that are kind of strange, but you get the same feelings. So, for example, this, I almost start to not have a meltdown, but I start to get really panicky if I can't find one. And I went to the Henley Regatta on day one last summer, and I left this in the boat that I arrived on at the front, and I had to do the whole regatta without it. And I couldn't concentrate on people's conversations. People were saying, I was just thinking, and I was trying to get like water and do this. I tried soap in the gents, but of course that tastes disgusting. But yeah, it's true.
It's so interesting. I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, because obviously this is a podcast all about sausages. My addiction is not Vaseline. My addiction is sausages. I'm not quite at the stage where I have a sausage cooked in my glove box in my car, but I suspect those days are not too far away. I have taken to, this is awful, I have taken to taking mustard to restaurants.
Right.
Just in case they don't have the mustard I like. And I'm not gonna claim all Tracklemans. We like Tracklemans. That is the Prick with a Fork mustard of choice. I'm not going to claim it's an original idea, because I once read an interview with Nigella Lawson, who I have a bit of a thing for, not just her culinary skills, and she keeps mustard in her handbag. And I thought, my God, just when I thought my infatuation with this woman could not go any higher, there's someone who's walking around with mustard. So depending on where I go, I'll let you into a secret. Sometimes I have to go to quiz nights and charity events for all kinds of reasons, and there's normally a ploughman's put on, and my heart sinks a little bit, because that can be beautiful, but also it can be fundamentally depressing if the ploughman's is rubbish. So I always take my mustard, because even if it's really bad ham, a bit of Trackleman's mustard or with a push Coleman's can sex it up a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they're like, who's the fat man with the mustard? It's like, yeah, he's always like that. So there you are. Listen, this week, or rather on this episode, we're doing some sausage sampling at your request. Before we get into the nitty gritty of sampling these bangers, which, by the way, are filling up my, well, I could grandly call it a studio, but it's really just a box room that doubles as an office with some kit in it, like a laptop and a camera. But there's a lovely aroma that's wafting around this particular room. But a couple of bits of housekeeping. So we're knocking on over 2,000 subscribers now on YouTube. So if you are a new subscriber, Hello. Thank you for
Thanks.
subscribing. It's not costing you a penny. If you want to help us out, because you like this kind of stuff, you love your bangers, you like your food, you like your barbecuing, that kind of stuff, please rate, review, share, and subscribe. And below, you can leave some comments. That's if you're watching on YouTube. Of course, you might be listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, because we exist there. And of course, you're always welcome. But a lot of people say they prefer to YouTube because they get to look at, well, certainly this middle-aged fat bloke and this other fella here, who is by far and away a lot better good looking than me, munching on sausages. But please, if you know someone who likes this kind of stuff on YouTube, get them to subscribe. And whichever way you're listening or watching, rate, review, share, subscribe, because then we can spread the sausage love. Do you want to give the backstory to these bangers, Rosa?
Yes. So what happened was, on the last podcast, we did the number one Waitrose Old Gloucester spot sausages.
Yeah.
Duncan and I's pretty much favourite supermarket.
The Rolls Royce of bangers.
It is, yeah, a bit like your Tracklements. And whilst I was at the deli counter, they had the Chilli and Fennel. Now, Lizzie and I do like a chilli sausage. We normally use one of the kind of Welsh dragon takes, but we use a chilli sausage in our bangers and mash. And they were there.
Oh, hang on a sec. Do you put chilli sausages with mash?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you don't need to apologise. I'm just, I kind of, that goes against my hard-fought traditions.
I know.
And values that really it should be kind of like a proper Herbie sausage.
Cumberland or something.
Each to their own.
Yes, each their own.
Personally, I think it sounds a bit perverted if you want my view, but you crack on.
So I bought two of these things. Yeah. And then said to Duncan, suggested, look, should we actually just stick on Waitrose for two podcasts in a row and go for these chili and fennel? Because fennel is like a Mediterranean herb, is it not? It kind of looks like a big spring onion, basically. It looks like a big, fat, bulbous spring onion. And we just wanted to give them a go. So here we go. These were £2.70 for three. And these have been cooked with the Duncan Barks method, which is in the oven, 180, with a baking tray and then some baking paper on. And I actually use a little bit of oil, actually, so that they don't stick. But they have split.
Oh, have they? Oh, I can see that, yeah. So we roast them in the oven. I have to say, and we've only featured on Waitrose for a couple of reasons. They got a fresh meat counter, which is always a good thing. The Gloucester Old Spot we talked about on the last episode is a sublime banger.
Yeah.
And Rosa suggested these, and I did see them when I was getting the Gloucester Old Spot. I have to say, my experience in buying these for this recording was frankly bloody traumatic. Now, I live in Chichester in West Sussex, and I'm trying not to be ageist here, so I'm going to broaden it out. But the car park of the Waitrose in Chichester normally is full of old duffers, right? But occasionally some complete arses driving their oversized 4x4s of any age. So it's not an ageism thing.
In the week it is.
But when did you go?
When did you go?
Sorry?
When did you go?
Oh, I went on a Saturday morning. I was asking for it. Frankly, I was asking for it.
Yeah, you were.
Right? It was 10:30 on a Saturday morning, and it was full of just idiots. And the common denominator, no matter what the age is they don't look, right? They're arrogant tossers, and they feel that they don't need to use their mirrors when they reverse, right? It's that simple. And it's like the dodgems at a fairground without the fun. And that's before you get inside the supermarket, because they take the same approach with their trolleys. Old Mr. Buffton Tufton, who's decided to ruin my Saturday morning by going shopping when he could go at any other time in the week because he's retired, right? When he's not on his 3 cruises a year because of his triple lock pension and the equity he's got on his houses and all of this. You can tell I'm angry. It was just a traumatic experience, but I did manage to get 4 of these.
Excellent. You elbowed your way past
elbowed my way through.
Like Henry Lloyd's shoes.
Yeah, and there was a man in claret-coloured cords in front of me.
I was about to say, don't tell me they were wearing red cords.
He was.
Yeah, and pink socks.
It was just, mate, you can come any time during the week.
Brown boating shoes.
My life is time short. 10:30 on a Saturday morning, you're not only clogging up the car park, you're clogging up the meat counter with your frankly, slightly gay trousers. Gay in the old sense of the word.
Yes, happy.
Meaning happy and jolly.
Yes.
And he wanted to have a conversation with the bloke behind the counter, and I'm just like, I just want my chili and fennel sausages. Anyway, I've got them, and I just thought I'd share the pain with Prick with a Fork listeners and viewers of the sacrifices that we make to bring you the world's only regular podcast all about sausages. It's a bit of a shame your one split.
I know, yes. As I said, I sent Lizzie to fetch these, actually. Mrs. M went to get mine because I thought, she's posh. She's very RP.
That's the Karen and Mrs. McAllister,
that's
not your housekeeper.
No. I thought, she can go and talk to Mr. Buffton Tufton about his yacht or something.
Where did you get your calls from?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Along from the same other shops, poshtwats.com. Now, this actually, as I said, has split, but the coating was actually quite oily. I've even kept the paper towel here that I use to kind of sort of dry it off a little bit. I do always dab my sausages anyway. The second one is also split as well, as did Lizzie's. But as I said, we are still on a temporary oven. This wallpaper and everything, we've moved into a house that completely needs. The full electrical rewiring's happening. So I've had to cook.
1956 was a good year.
Well, it was, and I've had to cook these in a desktop oven. So
you've done well.
As if first world problems.
Mine hasn't split. You can see I've got my special sausage tasting fork there. It's not split. But you're right. It was a bit shiny when I took it out of the oven, a bit glistening as well.
There's the chili. Look, you see it? Look at that.
And it is. And we have seen this before. Do you remember you and I have done or maybe it was before you very kindly got involved in this podcast, but I did the hottest sausage ever.
Yes.
It was available in the supermarket a couple of years ago, I think it was, as some kind of stunt. Not a stunt by me, a stunt by the sausage maker and the supermarket. And it had, I think it had those chilies, and is it the Scotch bonnet ones? Yeah, Scotch bonnet chilies or something. And even then, there was this slightly orange radioactive looking kind of liquid in the bottom of the roasting tin. Not so bad with these ones, but there was a bit of a smear.
Me too.
If you like. But I genuinely, what I like about these is because I don't know, it's weather-wise, we're recording this towards the end of March. We've had a few days of really decent blue skies and sunshine. And then depending on which weather forecast you listen to or watch, it's going to get a bit colder. But what I like about these is, I don't know what it's like in your fridge, but when you open up the fridge, even though they're in a bag that's been sealed by the butcher, you get a lovely waft that comes out. I found myself thinking I could be walking down a cobbled alley in Sicily somewhere on my way to a little family-run restaurant to have some Fennel-based meal or whatever. It's a delicious aroma, isn't it?
It is. We just need to hope that Mr. Buffton Tufton doesn't go to Sicily for his holidays either, because you don't want to run into him as you walk down this very idyllic Sicilian street. But you're right, Duncan, the aroma from these, even the smell like that, it almost smells like a roast pork.
Doesn't it?
I know we've baked the, but you don't normally get such a strong smell off the actual skins and off the sausage. Now, the thing is, I've been onto Waitrose's website, and I might write to them actually to find out what's in this, because for the first time, really, we're sailing blind a little bit because we don't have any of our usual ingredients. We don't know what the pork content is. We don't know how much fennel, for example, is in there, or chili. No. I'm guessing these are hog casings, though, looking at them, although we'll know whenever we bite into it. Yeah. But at a guess, compared to the other sausages in their number one range, I would guess that the pork content in this comes in around 85%, would be my guess.
I think that's a pretty fair assessment. And look, we try and do sausages from all kinds of different places, supermarkets. There's a bias towards that because we want people who watch this and listen to this to access as we do. Occasionally we go off-piste a little bit, maybe a farm shop or whatever. Not everyone has a Waitrose. They are pricey. There's no two ways about it. But I do take the view that if you do like your sausages, it's worth spending a few extra pence if you can afford to do so. But fear not, if you find this a little bit like, I've got no Waitrose near me, don't worry. I think on the next episode, we're going to do something that's a little bit more budgety, which is right, because we go right across the spectrum. But I think it's fair to say they are quality bangers because they come from Waitrose. And it's always worth going in, I've noticed this, towards the end of the day because, as you know, most supermarkets do yellow sticker stuff. The meat counter, towards the end of the day, if they've got to get rid of stuff, they'll slash 25 to 40% off stuff. So it's definitely worth, having a bit of a poke around I think it's about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then they close it. They close the meat counter earlier than the actual shop closes, but you can get a bargain. So hopefully you might be able to get your hands on these Chilli and Fennel ones. Who's going to go first?
Well, Duncan, just on that as well, talking about supermarkets, and as you say, we pretty much know what our next one is, and I'm excited about that one for the next month's episode. But with Waitrose, you can ring ahead, because I did.
You could do what?
You can phone ahead. You can phone them up and say, "Do you have any Chilli and Fennel sausages?" And somebody with their headset will walk off to the counter, find out, and then Marjorie, her name was, came back and said, "Yes, my love, we have 8." And I said, "Great, okay, I'm sending the wife."
Oh, I never knew you could do that.
Yeah, so there you go. So there are only 350 Waitrose stores in the country, and as you say, that they're not around for everybody. But at the same time, $2.70 for 3 of these sausages. That's less than £1 a sausage. I don't think it's that bad.
They're good. Actually, I wasn't aware you could phone ahead. I'm just thinking with a slightly different hat on that I can have no end. Well, actually, the possibilities in terms of fun and mirth are endless, aren't they? Because you could just phone up your local Waitrose and go, Have you got 16 pork and fennel chili sausages? And off goes Marjorie or Dave and comes back and says, "We've only got 12." And you can go, "Well, that's no good," and put the phone down. And then phone them an hour later. You could have someone running around, couldn't you?
You could. You'd be like, "Right, I'm off to Harrods. Bye."
Right, let's try these. I think love the smell.
Yes,
love the smell. Just aesthetically, the chili and fennel, I can already see through the skin here, and I think you're right, the hog casings, little red flicks of chili and also other herbs as well, because fennel predominantly is white and a little bit green. But, I mean, it just smells utterly amazing. So if you're watching on YouTube, there you are. That's what we're dealing with here.
I'm going. I've got to go in.
You're going. I'm going in as well.
Massive chunk as well.
Yeah. That's good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh. There's all sorts going on here. This is a meal in itself, isn't it? This is one of the first sausages, and there comes that chili. There it is. It took a while. It's just a nice...
My skin's a little bit quite tough, actually.
Mine are okay. Quite a coarse cut.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
And there's a big lump of pork. There we go. I'll just get that out.
Got some good flecks of
Look
herb
at that.
in there.
Yeah, now that's just pure fat, that bit. Oh, sorry, that came out of my mouth.
That's disgusting.
Oh, no. As if 2 blokes eating sausages on the internet isn't. They're good. Now, I'm getting the Tracklements out, and I don't know if this is a hint as to next time, but I also wanted to compare it to Bat's English mustard.
Oh, was that from Aldi?
Lidl. It was
Lidl.
59p.
Yep.
Compared to this being, well, and I did get it in a posh farm shop, but this was, I think the guts are £3, which again is worth it. I gave this to friends yesterday.
Yeah.
Hugo's godmother was up for the weekend, and
you sent them off with a jar of Trackleman's strong English mustard.
Well, no, they couldn't handle it. They had it with the roast beef, and they were like, whew, that has a kick. I was like, yes, it does.
Woke?
Oh, definitely not. No,
you're not woke.
No, and actually, I think you know her. She's a newsreader.
Oh, no.
So, she's definitely not woke.
Does she work for the BBC?
Has done. Works for the other one.
All right.
With the clouds in the sky. And ITN and British Forces and various other news outlets. But yeah, I think you know her, Duncan, but we can have another chat about that another time. Right now, I've actually dabbled this in Bats.
These are really meaty, aren't they? It's really coarse. This is a really nice sausage. This is an event. You said a few moments ago, there's a lot going on there, but it's an event, this.
Now, this says I deal with cold meats. My sausage has gone cold because of the problems I had trying to boot this computer up this morning, but this mustard, I know what they're trying to do. It's a take on Coleman's. It's all right. It's passable. You can tell that you use that in a hot dog. It's got a no heat to it at all. This is definitely where it's at. But as Duncan says...
Hang on. So is the Bats one a bit slutty?
It's a bit It's a bit fast food joint. Yeah.
There's a place for that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, as I said, in
if
a hot
you're
dog,
going to have a dirty
perfect.
hot dog, you want a slutty mustard with it, don't you? I
Yeah.
mean, I do.
Yeah, because if you put that in a hot dog, you're not going to be able to eat it.
No.
It's going to be too much. Well, it's making me cough. No booze today either, of course. This is Monday morning.
We are recording it on a Monday morning, even by my standards.
Yeah, normally.
I wouldn't be cracking anything open just yet.
No, when I found out, by the way, to all of you who are watching, when I found out it was at 11:30 on a Monday, I was like, oh, there goes the cider.
Yeah. Well, normally we tend to record them late afternoon,
That's
and
right.
then it becomes a bit more acceptable to crack one open.
Now,
So hang on, I've lost track of it here. Have you done the Bat's mustard?
yes,
What do you make of it, apart from it being slutty?
for 59p, yeah. But hot dog territory for me.
Yeah.
This is nowhere near as strong. So
Has it got, because sometimes
as Coleman's.
I've got a mate who's got a cash and carry card, and there's a company called Booker's, and he goes there, and sometimes he buys these big squeezy mustards, the big squeezy plastic thing. And again, there's a place for that, particularly for barbecues if you're doing hot dogs or whatever. But sometimes I find it can have a little almost metallic-y chemical taste to it. Is that at all featuring in the Bats?
Not really, no. I know what you mean. I think because this has come out of a very small glass jar, I think we're doing okay here. It's all right for 59p. You can't knock that, and that actually might suit most people. Because, for example, if Trackleman's is 10 out of 10 on the whole, which I think it is, as in I'm not scoring it. I'm saying in terms of heat as mustard.
Yeah.
Then a Coleman's is definitely around an 8, I would say, and this is about a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
In terms of how much, this doesn't go through your nostrils and stuff like the real strong stuff does. This definitely will. This will cure a cold, this.
It reminded me, can I just say, as an American viewer or listener to our podcast, who got in contact when we were last talking, 3 or 4 months ago, got in contact about mustard. And she said what she can't get, I can't remember which part of the US she's in, but she can't get the mustard powder that Coleman's do, in the little square tins.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, send me your address and I'll buy you a little tin and I'll send it over to you. Now, I can't remember who you are, madam, but I've lost your address because I'm useless when it comes to admin, or I'm appalling when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if that is you, email prickfork@gmail.com, prickfork@gmail.com. That's our email address. Remind me of your address because I have it. I have a little tin of Coleman's mustard sealed for you, which I think legitimately I can send to the US without being put in prison. Because it's a yellow powder and I don't want the FBI at my front door. But do email me your details, prickfork@gmail.com, and I'll stick it in the post. Right then, so where are we heading with these snorkers then?
Well, I've just bitten off a bit that didn't have chili in it on the side, just a tiny little bit for Sumner because she's sitting here. I don't know where Bertie is at the moment, but Sumner is here. Where we are with these, I think, like we were saying, these are a meal in themselves. These are packed. They have a very high pork content, I would guess. It's quite a coarse cut as well.
It is really coarse. I mean, and it's deliciously meaty.
Yeah, and balanced, I would say. In terms of it being a chili and fennel, they really haven't overpowered anything. This is a really, really good sausage. This might be one of the best ones I've ever had from a supermarket. I'm going to have it with Trackleman's now.
Okay.
That's really good.
Whilst you're doing that, I will suggest that when you have anything like this, chili and fennel, you can always, if you wanted to, make a really cheap and easy, well, not cheap, but quick and dirty pasta dish by squeezing out the meat from the actual sausage. So you split the sausage skin and you squeeze it out, you roll little balls and you fry it in some olive oil, and you can mix that with some pasta and some tomato sauce, and you have a lovely Italian flavoured pasta meal there, basically Italian sausage. Right, so that to one side. What are you thinking there, Rosa, with the Trackleman's?
Well, Duncan, I was focusing on your every word there because as I was searching for the ingredients of this, a load of Italian recipes actually started coming up, and I think you're absolutely bang on. This would turn a passages into just, like a mama, you're the make it. This would just be, off the scale. I'm going in high with this. Do we do half scores or does it have to be rounded?
I think we've done half scores in the
Have
past.
we? Well, then I'm going 9.5 then.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's that good. For a supermarket sausage, I think it's that good. I think they've balanced it so well. I really do. I think it's very, very good.
For me, it's not the kind of sausage I'd want with my mash, because obviously, I'm a traditionalist, mildly conservative. I think life was better in 1956, to be honest with you.
Mildly.
I was a producer at Sky News describes me as a crusty old right winger. Who knew? Which I think he meant it as an insult. I took it as a compliment.
Obviously. I've known him for 20 years, by the way.
So for me, it's all about when you'd have this sausage, because that feeds into the score as well. I disagree, Rosa. It's not the kind of thing I'd have in mash, so therefore it's not necessarily as versatile as other sausages. However, I do like it. It's got a lovely, as you've identified, Mediterranean kind of vibe about it, which I think is good. That, for me, lends itself to hot summer days and barbecues.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can almost imagine this on the barbecue, slicing it up and mixing it with a really nice salad with some nice fresh green leaves and some cherry tomatoes.
Red wine.
And some peppers and a bit of olive oil, which is, blimey. I mean, look, we know there's a cost of living crisis. I've noticed olive oil, it's almost on par with trying to fill up with unleaded at the moment.
It is.
Given the bloody prices at the pumps. Anyway, so nice olive oil. I mentioned the peppers, maybe a little bit of cucumber in there, because what you'd have that kind of like freshness of the salad.
Yeah.
Grate some lemon zest into the salad as well.
Ooh.
So you've got this kind of like freshness of the salad, the crispness, the zest from the lemon against the backdrop of some of these sausages sliced up, which would have a lovely little smoky kind of vibe going on because you've done them on the barbecue, not in the oven. And I could imagine having that on a summer's afternoon, possibly on a Sunday. No, maybe a Saturday, late Saturday afternoon, no work on the Sunday unless you're like you and I and we pop up on the telly because we're media tarts. But most normal people, no work on the Sunday, and definitely not beer or cider with this for me. I think I'd want
a red wine.
I'd want a wine, probably want a rosé or something white and chilled.
Yeah.
I think that would be my ideal scenario for eating these.
For this sausage.
I like them. I'm not going to give them the 9.5. You see, look at those chunks of chili.
But you see, as you say, everything separates. The herbs really come through. Even the taste of the pork, the chili just gradually just grows, and on the back end, it then sort of hits, but not hard. There's just a nice sort of warmth to it. I think as a balanced sausage, considering it is chili and fennel, it really majors on those two things other than the pork. I think. Balance again, even a score on balance, I'd give it a 9.5. I think it's superb. I agree. You could make a really interesting hot dog out of this actually, with a nice bap, and then some of your Bat's English mustard for 59p. Currently, that's how much I paid for it as of March 2026.
So you'd marry up this classy sausage with a cheap jar of mustard?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, that's like Pretty Woman, isn't it? The film. You know what I mean?
Big mistake. Huge. Not that I've seen it countless times.
You've got, I don't know if I can say it, posh and a bit of rough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Right, I'm giving it 8 out of 5. No, I'm giving it 8.5.
8 out of 5.
8 out of 5. I haven't even been drinking. I'm giving it 8.5.
Only one behind.
Yeah.
Well, then...
Can't quite give it a 9.
We will let people decide then. I think it's better than that.
It is a quality banger.
It is really good. And like that, as I said, 3 of them for £2.70. That's less than £1 a banger. So 4 of them would have come in at less than £4. Yes, they're sold on weight though. So for example, if you get some fatter ones, then maybe it'll be slightly higher in the price. But Sumner, I know my beagle's here, and these are chilly ones though, puppy. So I'm gonna have to pull out some pork.
Well, my dog's scratching at the door to this room because he can smell the sausages. I can't give him anything related to this because he won't be able to survive. Is the honest answer.
Well, it's just a tiny bit of pork there. Tiny,
not great with spice.
Tiny,
and
tiny bit of pork.
So. Right, so 9.5 for you, 8.5 for me.
Yes,
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Right, next one we're going to do is going to be from, is it Aldi or Lidl?
Lidl. It's their 4 ultimate pork sausages. It comes in a sort of a big case like that. It has a dark brown sort of cardboard sleeve around it. It looks as if they're trying to match the Tesco ones that we reviewed about 6 or 7 podcasts ago. I'm really intrigued to have a go on them because they're also longer as well.
Yeah.
And Lidl, Lidl, Aldi, they're pretty good for meat. Sometimes it can be a bit hit and miss. I don't sort of have a blanket kind of like, oh, it's the same as the other places. I don't necessarily think it is, but
I think they're really good for certain things.
They are. I mean, their brisket in Lidl is excellent.
That includes beer. That also includes certain red wines which they have, which are really, really first rate.
Yep.
So we'll do that on the next sausage sampling. You and I will do those particular bangers. And I just want to mention, I did an interview several weeks ago with our friends at Porky White's, Rosa. And I urge people, we don't often do interviews with sausage companies because we are independent, and we tell it like it is, and we don't get money for interviewing companies or whatever, or featuring any of the products. We're just two enthusiasts here who just happen to like talking into a microphone and a camera about sausages. But I urge people, because Porky White's, their backstory, they're a proper Great British company. You can get them in Sainsbury's and Tesco and elsewhere. And it was a really interesting chat with their managing director, who is the daughter of a butcher, and she's also got her own daughter that's doing an apprenticeship in butchery. So it's a great story, which is why I wanted to talk to the managing director and also their marketing guy as well. But it's a really interesting story about a Great British company that started off in Ewell in Surrey in 1934. So yeah, if you're really interested in sausages and you want to support a great British business, just go back through our kind of list of stuff on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's very simple. It's called the Porky White's Interview, and it's really interesting about how they work, how they operate, and their ethos and their values. So do that. Rosa, always a pleasure. Until next time, happy sausage eating.
Oh, we've got bangers and snorkers. I'm so in love with those porkers. Sizzle or fry, that's what I like. As long as it's real, you'll never butcher my pride. I love my blood sausage, whether black or white. I'm like a hot dog in mustard. Since a new way of stuffing I've discovered. Oh, bratwurst is fine, bratwurst delights. Cumberland rocks with an onion side. Salami, boudin, Savoy, I'm a pig hog high. Oh yeah, la la la. As long as it's in a skin, it's